Welcome to episode 17 of the Nuff Said podcast. I am respectful Rob Southgate, and with me is...
Jacked up Jacqueline Grosky.
Jacked up. You know what? I've been talking to you for a while. I think you're right. Jacked up might be accurate. Almost as accurate as jelly-filled Jack was.
I'm working on that, but, it is what it is. It's the truth.
So this episode, we're going to really focus on the newest episode of Agents of S.H.I.T.I, T.A.H.I.T.I. And I have to say it that way because it's an acronym now.
It is.
So, Jack, what did you think of this episode?
I really liked it. I think I really like where they're going with the technology, the characters, everything that we've been complaining about for a long time, I think is starting to come together. Even like Coulson's kind of, I don't want to say arch nemesis because they're the same on the same team with Garrett, but man,
I don't think he's a nemesis. I think that he's his guy. Everybody has a guy, somebody that kind of drives them, and I'm not even going to say they're your frenemy. They're just the person that you kind of banter with, and you know that, like, man, I got to beat this guy. That's who he is. Yeah. I don't think they're enemies.
No, I don't. Yeah, it borders on frenemy. They're definitely on the same team, but there is a hostility. There's it's a little bit of Fight Club.
It is.
They love each other.
Totally Fight Club.
Yeah, they love each other to death, but it's all in the ring.
Yeah. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Well, I don't know about you. I loved Garrett on this.
Oh, it was awesome.
You know what? From what I understand, he's on 4 episodes this season. That's probably a perfect amount because you don't need this guy on every single episode. But 4 episodes with Agent Garrett sounds really good to me. I thought he was really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more.
Well, and if you read the comics about him, he also had a experience very similar to Coulson. So, he's talking about how in this episode he was, how could you possibly be alive and how can this be? You know what? We may very well see that play out where something happens to him and he gets reconstructed because that is something that happens in the comics.
Really? I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah, there's something about that with him which makes him even closer to the Coulson character. So I just really liked it. We started out with Skye following up getting shot a couple of weeks ago, and she was shot in the abdomen. They had her alive in that tube. It's funny because if it wasn't a Joss Whedon show, I would say the chances of her dying were probably not very good. That they would, have her solved within a half hour and boom, she's back on the team. But this is a Joss Whedon show, and even though she's the ingenue of the group, she could have died. I mean, I really felt the stakes were there.
Yeah, they really brought it all the way to the end. It wasn't like, oh, we fixed her and she's okay. The whole right. Episode was about kind of getting her back and the juxtaposition of what happened if they save her, let her die. If they save her, if they save Skye, the clairvoyant knows all.
Yeah.
If they let her die, the coming back to life secret kind of stays. And I don't know that they. And of course, if you zoom out to the end, I don't know that they really convinced me that what they did kept anything from the clairvoyant.
What do you mean? Oh, I don't think they were keeping it from the clairvoyant. I think when this happened, that's when, this is leading towards the clairvoyant. The clairvoyant is getting this information now. I don't think that was hidden from the clairvoyant at all.
Well, they were trying to because the whole object, if you let Skye die, the clairvoyant would know nothing of the process. The only thing the deep dark...
Right, but the fact that they saved her means, that part of the story is dead. The clairvoyant absolutely knows that there is something up with this serum, doesn't really know about it, because if the clairvoyant can't see what Coulson sees, Coulson was the only one that was in that room that saw what was going on.
That's true. And so that may be the part that actually keeps it a secret.
Yeah.
But, obviously he's going to know about the serum, and
You said he. We're assuming the clairvoyant's a guy?
it could be a he, it could be a she. I'm just going to take the English prerogative of
You're going to just use the queen's he.
the queen's he. Right. I'm not one of those that go, he, she was,
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because we don't know. I mean, that's something that I actually, I was just giving you a little crap there, but I actually thought that earlier. Like, we don't know who this clairvoyant is, or if it's even a he or a she. I mean, this could be some alien.
Right. Well, actually, last time you and I talked, there's a slight possibility it could be Stan Lee.
I think that would be awesome.
That would, especially if they used it and he was able to do a little acting. But I really think they'll develop more out of that character, that when the clairvoyant comes in, it'll be a multi-part, pretty heavy role. And I don't see Stan Lee kind of stepping into that.
Yeah, see, I can see how it could work that it wouldn't be like that, though. So I'm not completely convinced. I'm just hopeful because I think they wasted the opportunity with him.
Yeah.
What can you do? So there was a catch in this one. I don't know if you caught it. When Simmons was talking on the phone, she said that she talked to Dr. Strange and he didn't know what this was. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. And,
it's got to be Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
Like the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, well, obviously, and, there's about Doctor Strange, I haven't.
Sounds like you're drowning over there, Jack.
I'm trying to get out a sentence that just doesn't want to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
One of the notes that I saw on this is there's a magical temple near Tahiti. Doctor Strange has been rumored for Phase 3. The Scarlet Witch is in the Age of Ultron. So that
is for sure.
There's Doctor Strange is in the plans.
Well, we talked about that on our last episode, that, that's been the big rumors that Doctor Strange was in the plans, but they actually came out and said they are looking for a director. So they haven't announced that he has Phase 3, but it sure sounds very likely that that's where things are heading.
Yeah, and
the fact that they brought him up here is kind of giving us a little precursor, like, yeah, he's part of this universe. There's a bone for you. So I thought that was a pretty cool catch.
Yeah, I think that was a little prequel to what's coming up with Doctor Strange. Just like a little tidbit of, hey, we're going to kind of give it to you, and then, a couple episodes later, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that's right.
Now, I wonder if they will do anything like introduce him in this show, even if it's not as Doctor Strange, like the mystic guy that we know, like the character, but the character of Doctor Strange gets introduced here. Boy, that didn't make sense, but that's okay. It's getting late. If they introduce him here, we see who the actor is playing Doctor Strange, and then they do the movie, 6 months, a year later. I think that would be a really interesting way to approach it, because you would be familiar with him. It's just like with this whole Sif thing. Sif is in Thor. Now she's going to be on next week, which I am so excited for. And there was a rumor that I had heard that they were talking about developing a Sith property. Huh. So would that be a movie, a TV show? What would it be? I don't know. But by putting her on here, it's like, hey, let's keep her fresh in the fans' eyes. Maybe make us a little more familiar with her, because she's in the Thor movies. People kind of know her, but a lot of people don't know. She's just the girl that kind of Thor is not into on Asgard,
Right.
So maybe this will help flesh that character out a little bit more, and they could do a little bit more with her. I don't know, but that made me think of that with Doctor Strange also. Like, what if they use this as a launching pad to those movies? Like, yeah, we know we're going to make a movie about it, but let's test the waters. Let's see if people respond to this character, because if they go through all this, they put Doctor Strange out, and really they've missed the mark. That is not how Marvel does it. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is we're getting a lot of kind of little future hints, right? And
you're having to do the interpretation of me this time. Usually it's me interpreting you.
I know. I think that the tables have turned once it gets past midnight Eastern time. I think your brain turns to mine.
Oh yeah. Well, we've all heard what I sound like in the morning. So now we're approaching. It's getting to be midnight here. It's definitely going downhill.
And see, that's when my brain actually starts to wake up.
Really?
Yeah. I have a terrible time that my brain like all life's problems like get solved at 11:59. And
this is your magic time, huh?
It is. I could probably, if I had like scientific training at 11:59 to about 2 a.m, I know I could cure cancer.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's just everything starts firing off. Yeah. That's when everything kind of in my life kind of gets done in that little time.
That's the magic Jack hour, huh?
It is. And I'm not trying to trivialize a disease. I'm just saying, the level of my brain just goes way high. Everybody else in the universe is kind of in bed. It's quiet, and all of a sudden I can start thinking of things.
Right.
So maybe it's my superpower.
I think that would have been very true of me before having a daughter, but man, I'm tired at night, and I'm tired when I wake up, and I'm just tired. So there you go, and we've all heard what my brain is like. So I'm so glad you're with us, Jack.
Well, thank you.
So one thing we mentioned, Molly, my daughter. I want to bring up something. We watched the show tonight, and she loves the show. It's so funny. And Martha, my wife, like covers her eyes during the fight scenes. She's like, no, you shouldn't see all that. But Molly loves all the stuff, which is what I love. I'm like a total gear guy. I love all the stuff. You know what she loved in this one? Was the shield symbol with the medical symbol incorporated into it.
Yeah, that was very cool.
She went, Dad, look! Like it was like the greatest thing. So that was something I wanted to give her a little shout out there, because she just loved that.
So that was the shield for Trauma Zentrum, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was cool.
Now, another thing that I thought was really cool. How about when Coulson pulled out his file? Did you catch it? It says on there for level 10 eyes only or above.
Right.
So now we're getting that like a definition of the levels a little bit more clear, because we didn't really know how high it went. We still don't know for sure, but now they said the only level 10 is Nick Fury.
Right. So this goes straight to the top. We also know,
but it says level 10 or above.
Right.
So if Nick Fury is level 10,
who's above that?
Yeah, what's up there? So that was pretty cool. It was something that I caught that I was like, it's funny because in the car on the way home tonight, we started talking about this, and I was telling Martha how you and I are going to have some special guests on this show in the next couple weeks. We're going to have another group of podcasters. I might as well mention this here. They have a podcast called Level 7. Welcome to Level 7. And it's Ben and Daniel. They're on Noodle MX Network. You can find them on iTunes. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. It sounds like they might be fans of our show too, so that's just really great. And we're going to have them on as guests. We're just going to really roundtable about Marvel, and I'm sure we'll geek out about all sorts of stuff. There's so much to talk about right now. Yeah. I was telling them about this, and I said, yeah, they're on this show, Welcome to Level 7, and Molly says, oh, well, Coulson's the only one that's level 7. And I said, no. Remember, he welcomed them to level 7, so he has to be higher than that. And Martha had no idea what any of that was.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to explain it, and then we got this in this episode, and I'm like, okay, now we have a little definition to it. Now it makes a little bit more sense.
Well, and we haven't met a level 9 yet, have we?
Well, we don't know.
Well, Coulson is
8?
Coulson is an 8.
He said that?
He's is a level 8. The team is level 7.
Okay, so he's level 8. So I wonder if Agent Black, the one that has the red hair, I wonder if she's a 9.
I don't know because
No, didn't she say she's the same level as Coulson?
I think that's a pretty lateral. In fact, she didn't even know why that they would be so interested in saving Coulson and his team.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the little comment that she made, that he's just one of the gang. And
Yeah, yeah. So
definitely
maybe
there's not like a boss she's not there's not a like level 9, level 8 kind of vibe between them.
no, no. Well, and you know what's interesting is let's go back to that same thought. If she's level 8 and Coulson's level 8, we know that Fury is at least a level 10.
Right.
We don't know if he's higher than that. I would assume he's answering to somebody, but he might be it. And who knows what level he's really at and how many layers there are. Because these guys, they think they know how many levels there are, but they may not really know that.
And we really never knew what levels kind of went for Hydra in the comics. And so, there's always another level. There's always, and even
right. It's always growing. There's always another arm to it, whatever.
Right. So, that could go on indefinitely. I think simply I think you picked up on it. What they said was level 10, Nick Fury, and it really did sound like that the way they made the comment that there was something bigger than level 10.
Well, it says it on the thing, level 10 or above.
Right.
But I'm still saying they may know that Nick Fury has level 10 clearance, but they may not know how high his clearance actually goes.
Well, that's true. That could be, debatable, but it really sounded like Fury is level 10 and there is something above Nick Fury.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about a rumor. There's that big rumor that Nick Fury is going to that he gets killed in the new Captain America movie.
Really?
Yes, and I started thinking that tonight when we were seeing the whole T.A.H.I.T.I thing. I started thinking, I wonder if this is another case where they're introducing us to something that's going to show up. So, like in the end credits for Captain America, maybe we see Nick Fury laying on the table with that thing working on his brain.
I think if you go to the history of the comic, that what we'll see die is the life model decoy, because the very first episode.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
That takes you back to day 1 of Nick Fury with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. Okay, I got a question.
Yes.
Speaking of life model decoys and all this other stuff that's going on here, in the tube, okay, in the, what did they call this thing? The
stasis tube, whatever.
Well, the guest house. It said GH on it, the guest house.
Right.
And the drug that they were getting was the GH325, but we saw there was a whole row of GH, of guest house drugs that were being pumped into that thing. That wasn't Coulson, right?
No, I think that was a S.H.I.T.I, and one of the.
Oh, you think it was a S.H.I.T.I?
I really do. I don't think that was a human. I think they're slowly draining this guy. This is an alien, and one of the notes, and I won't take credit for this one.
Wait, are you thinking that what they're doing is extracting this GH out of a S.H.I.T.I?
I do, and this is this is the note I got from comicbook.com. Dadgummit. Comicbook.com. And what was his name? His username is Science Advisor. The body was a S.H.I.T.I, which immediately is what I thought.
But, wow, I didn't catch that, but I know you're right now.
But here's the big mind blower. GH stands for growth hormone, which they're extracting from the body. So that's why he freaks out and he runs up and.
Oh, yes.
And that.
Well, it might not mean growth hormone. It still might mean guest house, like it's being extracted from the guest house. But it makes sense that they call it a guest house because he's not from here. He's a guest.
Right. But that growth hormone that still kind of makes sense that, maybe the guest house was, part of the
Right, that it
coincidence.
regenerates tissue.
Right. And,
oh my gosh, that makes so much sense, man.
and so that's why Coulson freaked out, because they're injecting this stuff. And I think he truly thought this is going to rack her body. But being that she's a 086, is it 086 or
Yes.
096?
086.
086, that she's able to assimilate. He thought she's going to blow up with this stuff. Oh my God, let me die, just like he was. But she has that. You notice how she had a different reaction completely. Everybody looks at each other and says, what just happened? What just happened was the 086 took that stuff like candy.
Right.
So I have a feeling that this girl might be part Chitauri.
Wait, already?
Already. I think Skye is a full-blown alien.
Really?
And when she
084 is what it is.
084, thank you.
Yeah.
And I think she's an alien, and that's why she was able to assimilate it better than Coulson. Because Coulson...
Yeah, she just seemed to take it in. And they said that her large intestine, small intestine were torn, and this just completely healed it.
Right.
Is at least what we're led to assume.
She is back to normal. I think what their theory is going to be, until we find out otherwise, that in her state, she was still alive. The difference with Coulson is Coulson had been dead many days.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to chalk the difference up to that. But I truly think that she is going to be some sort of alien. I swear, by the end of the series, she is going to be one of the superhero or alien characters.
It could be.
I mean, there's going to be some...
By the end of the series, yeah. We're not going to see that happen for a while, but yes, I can totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You really got me with that Chitauri thing. I couldn't figure out, and I kept thinking, the injuries didn't look like the injuries that Coulson had.
Right. Well, that's the first thing I thought. Oh my God, he's going to open up and see himself. But no, it was an alien.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it had that weird blue thing coming out of him, and I was thinking those might be the tubes that were, keeping it alive, but it wasn't keeping it alive. It was extracting whatever that is from him.
Right. So basically, this thing...
That's unbelievable.
This guy is basically in the throes of death, but they're keeping him in the stasis tube and, just using up all his growth hormone or whatever they're calling it, and, separating it into the necessary chemicals.
So now here we have another element being injected into this world. We have the gamma radiation, which we know is very active in this universe.
Yeah.
We have whatever the centipede stuff is, which is kind of that mixed with other stuff. We have this now. So, I mean, we're really getting set up for the Marvel Universe to explode with heroes and villains.
Right.
I think.
And the funny thing is, I thought we were getting ready to really find out about Cybertech and Deathlock.
Yeah.
We
didn't have anything to do with that this time.
No, that was like the total red herring to put a Sherlockian twist to it, that we're gonna all find out about Deathlock. And no, the clairvoyant, as we find out, set her death up just to put this whatever process they used on Coulson to kind of bring it out for Skye.
Right. Yeah, it was all just a setup.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was... You really blew my mind with that. Now I really have something to think about with that. Okay, so we pretty much talked a lot of this out already. The whole thing was cool. I thought the map was cool when they turned the thing sideways and they could see it was a map. There was just a lot of cool tech stuff, good fighting. I mean, this was just an all-around great episode. Let's talk about the ending.
Which ending?
So, the very ending.
The Asgard or the Midgard? Did she say Midgard?
Yeah, she said Midgard.
Okay.
But she's Asgardian. Okay?
Right, so the Midgard kind of threw me off a little bit, but I guess she thought she had left Asgard for Midgard.
Right.
and winds up on Earth.
She ends up on Earth. Right. And that character, this was great because they didn't play around with it, because that's usually what kind of happens is, like, Deathlock, they gave us clues it was Deathlock, it said it on his thing, but it took until that reveal for us to go, oh, it's Deathlock. For this, she just says, I'm Lorelei. She said it clear as a bell like 3 times. Now, Lorelei is a character from the Marvel Universe.
Right. Well, as well as mythology.
Right. But that's the whole thing with all the Asgard stuff. I mean, it's kind of all tied together.
Right.
You know? But she is very much involved with Loki. She is a sister of Amora, who is the Enchantress.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, she is a bad guy. If you read the comics, her whole thing was Loki sent her basically to seduce Thor. And she has no problem doing that because she thinks he's a big hunk. I don't know. You can tell I'm getting tired when I'm saying stuff like that. But she, that's what her whole deal was. And she was ended up getting kidnapped by the Dark Elves in one thing. And I mean, like, she's got this whole story. She's actually kind of an important character.
Right, which takes Lady Sif kind of is going to have to come and kind of...
Well, that's why Sif has to come. She has to get Lorelei off this planet.
Right, so we're going to have a
awesome.
We're going to have a big Asgard battle here real soon.
Yes. Well, in the preview, you saw the two of them fighting with their swords, which you know is going to be sweet. I can't wait, because I can't say it enough how much I like Sif, and I'm just really excited. I thought it was great to have Lorelei there. I don't think we're going to be seeing Deathlock next week. I also don't think we're going to see Agent Garrett next week. I think they're going to do this. We'll probably have another story the next week, and then maybe Garrett comes back, maybe not. I don't know. But boy, they seem to really have this formula down. They're really kind of clicking in on this now.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I did read a rumor that, or at least I don't even know if it's a rumor, but kind of a wish is that Marvel might take in phase 2 on their Netflix stuff, just like we talked about before, where, hey, it would be great if they did the Punisher. There's also this kind of thought out there, what if they did the Falcon? Because, you know, the Falcon shows up in Captain America.
Right.
What I'm thinking is they could, with one of these episodes coming up that's kind of around Captain America, why can't the Falcon show up here?
It's definitely possible.
How awesome would that be?
Now, where would he come in? Where would we get him from in the universe?
Right from the Avengers or from his dealings with Captain America, because what they've said is the events in the Winter Soldier have a huge impact on the Marvel Universe, the cinematic universe, and it is absolutely going to change what's happening on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that Lorelei showing up and Sif showing up is going to have some big effects. And I think that, you know, with the Captain America stuff having these changes, you know, the Falcon is a really easy character to bring in on this. And it's not like it's, you know, Samuel Jackson playing the Falcon. It's a guy that's not as well known or not as prominent as like a Samuel Jackson. So they may have, when they cut his deal, they may have said, you have to do X amount of episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they may have said, we're leading this towards, like, put him under contract to do like a 10 episode series on Netflix, which I would be really down with. When I was a kid, I loved the Falcon. I thought the Falcon was such a cool character. And I had the, like, Mego Falcon toy. Oh, I just loved it. I thought he was sweet. Now, I had all those Mego guys, so I loved them.
I think I agree. I could see the Falcon coming in post-movie as, you know, kind of batting some sort of cleanup or some sort of kind of storyline, you know, much like they did after the Iron Man 3.
Or after Thor.
Yeah.
You know, I really hope they don't go that route. If they just have them coming in and being a cleanup crew, or they just make reference to it, I want to see Captain America have an effect on this. Things change. Characters die, or things have... The rules have changed. Maybe that's what splinters this group off from S.H.I.E.L.D. in some way.
Well, and that's kind of what I meant. I didn't mean like our fictional Chuck, the superhero cleanup guy. No, I mean
Right?
I literally
Chuck, would you become familiar with him?
that's Mister Chuck to you, actually.
That's Mr. Chuck.
Here I come to save the day.
Oh, he has a theme song.
When criminals appear and leave a mess, and some of the heroes wear a dress, and some of the heroes wear a dress. Then Chuck the janitor comes. It's cleaning man, cleaning man.
Well, I hope you don't get sued for that song.
Room of thunder.
Room of thunder. Pants of thunder. Bucket of orange sawdust. Chuck the janitor.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
oh, that's gonna have to be a huge edit. But but I really think there's going to be some big effects, and something like the Falcon would be perfect. To kind of take out from nowhere and to come in and boom. It would be a good slot for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, I just had a thought. I wonder if our guy, remember when Peter McNichol was on and he was the Asgardian?
Yeah.
That Thor episode? What if he shows up in this Sif episode?
Ooh.
Because he's out there.
Right.
I don't want to see him just written off and like, oh, it's a one shot we had Peter McNichol on. That would be cool.
Well, he kind of got the witness protection program from Coulson.
Right.
He totally got the pass. So maybe when things really kind of get down and dirty, he gets a little call from Coulson and said, hey, dude,
we've got some Asgardians here. We need a little help.
Yeah.
We need you to kick some Asgardian up here.
Yeah, work your little mojo. I don't know what mojo that he has.
Well, you know what? No, it said he's a berserker.
Really?
Yes.
I forgot.
That was the deal. He was a berserker and he had that staff.
Oh, I forgot about that. So he could go totally insane on both of them.
Yes.
I mean, not that, I'm sure Lady Sif.
Although Sif can handle it. And actually Lorelai's Valkyrie. So, I mean, the three of them going at it would be insane.
Oh, yeah. And that would totally be within the theme of the, kind of the Viking mythology.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, I would be so down with that.
Hey.
Oh, I hope they bring him back in. Even if they don't bring him in this time, they got to bring him back and they got to do something super, super cool with him.
Yeah. Are you prepared to get your mind blown one more time?
I am. Do it, Jack.
I'm looking at this right here, and you know how you talk about the Fox are part of
Fox who owns what and who does what. Yeah.
The Kree are blue, and the Kree are going to be a major part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
And so the Skrulls are with Fox, but the Kree are with Marvel. So this guy, according to user Weird Platypus, is saying that guy might not be Chitauri, but it might be a Kree, which takes us right into Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yes, it does.
How excited would that be? That would be a perfect transition.
That is an awesome idea, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's another one. They said it ties in with Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going to tie it into this. Oh, that is a really cool thought. Okay, did you finally watch the preview for that?
I did not.
Oh, Jack, you're killing me.
I saw a couple of like the early ones.
No, you haven't seen anything. You need to see this trailer. It's so fantastic. I've watched it like 4 more times since having that last conversation about it.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I want to point out. It's really quick, but Karen Gillan's character is in it.
Mm.
And, oh man, you can tell I'm getting tired. She is the daughter. She plays the daughter of Thanos.
Huh.
And she's bald and all blue. And it's just this quick little shot, but it is so awesome.
Cool.
It is so cool. You know who Karen Gillan is, right? Let's see. Let's test your geek cred here.
Agent Mulder.
Oh, So weak. And Agent Mulder's a dude.
Oh, that's right, Scully.
You're the worst. She's Amy Pond, the girl who waited from Doctor Who.
Oh, she's awesome.
Tell me you watch Doctor Who.
Oh, I do, and I love Amy Pond.
That's Karen Gillan, and she plays the daughter of Thanos, the big bad Thanos in this.
Ah,
yes.
very cool.
Yes, it's going to be fantastic. Now you really got to watch this thing.
So this is, let's see, images. I'm looking for it right now. But yeah, I'm totally bad with actor and actresses' names.
Okay. It's so surprising after our conversations. You seem to really have a good grip on that stuff.
Not. If you say Harrison Ford, I don't know who you're talking about. But then you say, the awful debacle with the crystal skull. Oh, that guy.
Right. Oh yeah, I know that movie.
Yeah. Maybe it's not quite that bad. I know who Harrison Ford is, and I totally know who Amy Pond is. But if you said her,
but when I say it's Karen Gillan, you're like, who?
No clue.
Yeah. Karen Gillan and all the Doctor Who people are big topics of conversation in this house. Not only because we have a podcast, Cuckoo for Who, which talks all about Doctor Who, but because we are just obsessed with it.
Yeah.
We had to have the podcast because we were already obsessed with it.
And maybe this might be a good input junkie, but one of the things I discovered on my Roku is it's got almost the entire library of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I don't have...
Well, not the entire library, but it's got... What it has is it has the 7 seasons, the current 7 seasons, and then it has Doctor Who Classics, which go back to the very first season, but it's kind of sparse. It'll be like 6 episodes from 1966 and 10 episodes from 78.
Yeah.
But, man, it's awesome. It's awesome to go back and see those.
Yeah, because I really want to go back like to the beginning and start,
all the way back?
All the way
back. For 50 years, dude.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now, have you done all of them? The Eccleston through Matt Smith?
I have, only just don't ask me to quote
That's the last 7 seasons.
Names except David Baker.
That's when they had, or Tom Baker.
Tom Baker. See, I told
David Baker. Isn't he a jazz guy?
He is. That's all. All my brain has room for is jazz names.
Right.
And I even forget those too.
Right. Hey, you're David Baker. No, I'm Tom Baker. Wait a minute. Aww. Which one's the jazz guy?
Well, never mind. I wanted to talk to the jazz guy.
Right.
But I'm Tom Baker.
Yeah. Oh, I'd want to talk to Tom Baker.
Oh, I would.
Okay, we're getting off track with our Doctor Who talk. So anyway, you got to see that Karen Gillan thing. I think she's Nebula. I think that's the character she's playing, and her it's not that I might have this all wrong. I don't think that her dad is Thanos. I think that's like her grandfather, but I might be wrong. But I think that's who she's playing as Nebula.
All right, so I'm pulling up the world premiere of the first Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Okay.
So when we go off air, I will definitely watch that.
Oh, please. Oh, because it's so fantastic. I just can't wait. We've got so many coming up. I'm not going to rehash the dates and everything. We did that on the last podcast, but I am just ready to go. And once again, we're going to do the same thing. If there are people listening that want to go with one of us, reach out to us. We might set up a little listener get-together at Captain America, and we'll just kind of all meet at some theater. Now, Jack, you're on the East Coast. You're out in, like, the D.C. area, right?
Yep.
And I'm in the Chicagoland area. So if you're in one of those two areas, reach out to us on Facebook, send us an email. However you do it, do it. You can also tweet us. My Twitter is rsouthgate. Jack is at
J. Wengroski.
We also have a Twitter for the show, which is Nuff Said Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on our website. Lots of ways to reach us. The website's awesome. It's got all the past episodes, plus it's got all of our other shows, which we've got a ton of other shows. And Jack, what are you on? You're on like a bunch of shows.
Well, I'm on the Blacklist podcast. I think it's the SMG Blacklist podcast. It's at Blacklist Pod. I'm on the Baker Street podcast, Input Junkie, and Enough Said.
Yeah, and then there's one that's hidden in there called Input Junkie Satellite, which is part of Input Junkie. So if you go to Input Junkie, you'll find that there. And then I'm on this one. I'm on Input Junkie. I'm on the Killing podcast. If you're a fan of the Killing, that show's been a lot of fun. What else am I on, Jack? I'm on Chester's Mill, which is an Under the Dome podcast. That's on hiatus right now, but we actually are thinking about having a couple of guests on this month. So we might actually have some new episodes coming on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm on Cuckoo for Who, which is the Doctor Who one. I'm on Ever After, which is a Once Upon a Time podcast. And Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, we do Ever After in Wonderland. And those and Cuckoo for Who are with Martha, Molly, and I. So it's kind of a family podcast thing.
And if you go to the Southgate Media Group website, you can see all of them.
Yes. And there's also a bunch of sponsors on the page. We're not going to get into that on this one because, frankly, we've already talked enough. But you can see our sponsors there. Please go to our website, click on our sponsors, buy stuff, try stuff. There's a really cool t-shirt company that we just added on there called T.Shirt Bordello, which they sent Molly the most awesome t-shirt. It's got Horton, the elephant, and the TARDIS. So it's basically Horton hears
Doctor Who.
It's a fantastic picture. But they do a lot of really crazy ones. They do, zombie stuff and Game of Thrones, and it's a great place. It's T-Shirt Bordello. Once again, go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com, and you can get to those through there. You can also click on that for Audible, and you get a free trial, a 30-day free trial with Audible.com, which is audiobooks. So if you like this kind of entertainment, of course you're going to like that. And we talk about audiobooks a lot on Input Junkie. We haven't really talked about them on here, but I'm sure at some point we'll start going through some of those too. So I think that's it. I think we kind of pimped everything we needed to pimp, and I'm just so excited for next week. I can hardly stand it. I wish we were doing one of these shows like twice a week, but frankly, we've got so many other shows we can't do it. So, Jack, you got anything else you want to say?
No, I just want to remind everybody I always use my tweaked audio headphones on every show, and
Jack's not done pimping.
No, I'm a big player. But that's it for me. I think I think the horse is dead, and the Shatari or the
is in the tube.
Is in the tube being or the Cree being milked dry.
The Cree is in the guest house. Ew, you're milking the Cree sounds disgusting.
It sounds like a euphemism for something really gross.
Oh, yuck. All right, on that note, I think we're done. Thanks for listening, everybody, to the Enough Said podcast. I am respectful Rob Southgate.
I'm milking the Cree, jacked up Jacqueline Grosky.
I am going to go throw up now. Thanks again for listening, everybody. Until next time, enough said.
Enough said.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world. Oh, gross.
Oh, that was hilarious.